Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Bullseye on Bullying. Today I am going to give you the skinny on weight loss. Now you may be saying to yourself, "Whoa, Bullseye the Clown, what on earth does your weight loss and your weight have to do with bullying?" Well, I'm so glad you asked because it has a lot to do with bullying, as a matter of fact. You see, a person's weight has a lot to do with how they feel emotionally. When you are bullied, you may eat to feel better. Now you may be saying to yourself, "That's silly." Not really, because you see, here's what happens. When you are bullied, you don't always have control over who is bullying you, and you don't really have sometimes a control over the solution. What you do have control over is what you put on your plate and what you are eating. So that gives you some type of control. Now when some people are upset, they eat a lot. I mean a lot. And not me though. Whenever I was upset, actually I would not eat. I actually ate whenever I felt good, which is really bad for a clown because clowns are happy all the time. So now that I'm happy all the time, I eat all the time. You see, bullies are thieves. Now they may not always steal stuff like your lunch money and your toys or your husband or your wife. No, sometimes they steal things that are much more important. They steal things like your self-confidence and your self-worth, your hopes and your dreams. And let me tell you, when you lose your hope, you don't really care what you look like. That is why a lot of people, when they lose their hope, they eat, because that is the one thing in their life that they can control, and it makes them feel better. Weight loss is a journey that seems to never end, and I know from my own personal experience. You see, I have been as fat as 315 pounds, and I have been as skinny as 170 pounds in my adult life. In 2015, I was playing tennis, and I had what you call a heart attack. Now I didn't know it was a heart attack at the time because it didn't feel like a heart attack. It just felt like my chest was getting congested and I was having a hard time breathing. But I didn't want to stop playing tennis because I was winning, and I love to win when I play tennis. And so I tried to serve, and the ball just went everywhere and I couldn't breathe. And so I had to quit. So I went out and I sat in my car, and my car cooled down, and I felt better. So as I'm driving home, I decided I'm going to stop by the hospital because I had health insurance, and I figured I might as well put it to use. And I said, "Yes, I have something going, chest congestion. Can you give me something for chest congestion?" And they said, "Well, come on back here and let us check you out." And they said that my blood pressure was 275 over 175, and my blood sugar was 498. And they said, "You are having a heart attack." And I said, "No, I'm not, because I feel good." And they said, "Yes, you're having a heart attack, so we're going to put you in the hospital." So they put me in the hospital. They gave me two stints. They put 2 stints in. And they said also at the same time, "Did you know that you are diabetic, a type 2 diabetic?" And I said, "No, I had no idea." And they said, "Yes. And your A1C is like 14.1. So they're giving me all these numbers and all these statistics. Honestly, I had no idea what any of this stuff meant. But I will tell you one thing. All of this scared the bejesus out of me. Yes, it did. And so as soon as they told me all of this stuff, I went on a drastic diet. Yes, I did. I went down to 100 carbs per day. I didn't eat anything that was out of carb. You see, because when you're diabetic, you need to limit the amount of carbs you take into your body. And so I drastically, at that time I was 240 pounds. I know that was a big boy. And I had gone from 240 all the way down to 170 pounds. And I did this in the course of like maybe a month and a half. And they said, "Bullseye, you should not lose weight that fast." And I found out very quickly why. Because when you lose weight really, really fast, body parts that are supposed to be way up here slowly end up way down to there. And you know, it takes forever to get these things way back up here where they're supposed to be. So you don't want to lose weight quite so fast. Now you may be asking yourself, What on earth are you spilling all these beans for, Bullseye the Clown? I don't need to know about all of your weight loss and all of that boss. Well, I'm telling you this because I'm almost 50 years old. Or is that 50 years old? And I want to make sure that I'm around for another 50 years. And so in order to do that, I need to get control of my weight and my weight loss. And I thought, what better way to do that than to take you all with me? Because I'm sure there's people out there watching this channel right now who has been overweight. And they're overweight because they're an emotional eater. And they're an emotional eater because either they're being bullied, they're having problems with their husband or their wife, or they're having problems because they're not married and they want to be married, or they want to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Whatever the case happens to be, there are a lot of emotional eaters out there and they need to get control on their weight. And so that is why I have decided to take control of my life, and I would like to bring you along with me on this journey. And if I can help just one person achieve their weight loss goal, I will have done what I set out to do. Now you might be asking yourself, whoa, Bullseye, what on earth gives you the right and the authority to give me tips on weight loss and my diet? And the truth is, did you know that I'm actually a personal trainer? Yes, I'm a certified personal trainer, so I am totally certifiable. Yes, I am. And so I would like to pass on my knowledge to you. So in the last 5 years, what started to happen was I started to eat whatever I wanted. When people would invite me to Olive Garden and I would sit down to a big plate of pasta, I would eat a big plate of pasta. And before I knew it, I went all the way from 170 pounds and to all the way up to where I am today. And I weighed myself this morning and I was 222.8 pounds. Holy moly, that is a big clown. Yes, it is. Now, you may be asking yourself, why on earth are you telling us all of this right now? And I wanted to get myself back into shape. And yes, I know that round is a shape, but I wanted to be in a little different shape. You see this? I would like to have a really skinny chicken belly, and I don't want to have such a big chicken butt. Yes, so I decided I wanted to lose weight, and I wanted to take you on this weight loss journey with me. So I will be checking in here at least once per week, probably a lot more, to make sure that we're all on the same page. And I will do weigh-ins and I will do a couple of measurements, and I'm going to show you how to do a couple of measurements right now. And I want everybody to not only weigh themselves today, I want you to take a couple of measurements that I'm going to show you here in just a few seconds. So not only will we do measurements together, I will kind of explain what kind of a diet plan I decided to follow. And you can follow the same one, or you can ask your doctor what is the best diet plan for you to follow. I personally am following a low carbohydrate diet, which is low carbs, no more than 100 carbs per day. No, that's not per meal, that's per day. 100 carbs or less per day. Because as a diabetic, I need to watch the amount of carbohydrates that I take in, because they alter the sugar and it raises my blood sugar. So now what I would like to do is I would like you all to do a couple measurements. The first one we're going to do is a chest measurement. Now this chest measurement should be right here. We each have a couple little boobie bumps, and they're right there in the middle of our boobie. And so we are going to take a measuring tape and we are going to measure that all the way across and all the way around to the back. So I have with me one of these type of measuring tapes, and let's see, we start with the end. Of course, this says 1, so you have the little in, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to start that there. So we find our little boobie bump right there is 1, and we place the end of the tape right there on the boobie bump. And then we take this one all the way around. This is the easy way to do it. You take it all the way around to the back. Okie dokie. So you take the measuring tape right across, see there's the 1, and you measure it right across your little boobie bumps, and measure it all the way around, and mine is about 48. You see that where they meet? It is a 48 and a half, because right there's the little bump right there, so 48.5. That is my chest measurement. And you may say, well, why are you taking a chest measurement? And I'm taking a chest measurement because as you lose weight, those will start to tighten up and go from the floor all the way back up to where they're supposed to be. And that is how you can tell how well you're doing on your diet and if you're losing weight in inches. Because sometimes you might not necessarily lose weight, but you will lose inches. So that was the first one. What did I say? 48.5. The next one we're going to measure is our waist. Now there's always controversy on where everybody's waist is. Your waist is where your belly button is. So if you all can find the belly button, whether it pops in or sinks in, we all have a belly button. So you're going to find your belly button. Most people wear their pants under their belly, but that's not really where your waist is. So again, you're going to stand up, and I'm going to take off this tie, just like that. Now, although my pants are way up here, this is actually above my belly button. My belly button is actually right there. So what I am going to do is the same thing I did before. I am going to start here with number 1. I am going to put that right on my belly button, and I am going to measure this right here, and I'm going to see right where they wind up together, and that shows 48. 48. Now you got to remember I've got big pants on and everything, so that's why my belly might seem a little bit bigger than it's supposed to be. So, and I will wear the same outfit each time I do that. We are going to measure it one more time just to make sure that that indeed is where my belly is. Okay, so again we place the 1 here, and we place this tape here, and we see where they intersect, and well, actually I'm going to suck my belly in. Don't suck your belly in. Here I'm sucking my belly in. That's crazy. Okay, so we're going to measure that right there. And again, yes, well, that's about 46. So I'm about 46. Okay. Oh, I feel naked without my tie on. Yes, I do. So as I mentioned, the type of diet I'm going to go on is 100 carbs per day or less. You might want to do something different, but I will be giving you some helpful hints on what is low carb, and let me explain something about diet. Can I tell you, please? If you blow your diet in the very first meal, don't panic. Don't panic. Just make sure the next meal you have is low carb. So, and if you don't know what is low carb, email me at bullseye@bullseyetheclown.com, and I will be happy to give you a list of foods that are low carb or zero carb that will help make up for a really bad meal. Don't beat yourself up if you have a really bad meal, because you can fix it in the very next meal, and don't give up. Don't give up just because you messed up one time. That's no big deal. Now the next thing I want to talk about is not only are we going to focus on your diet, but we're also going to talk about your emotional state. And no, I'm not talking about the state in which you live in. I'm talking about the emotional state that you live in up here. Because I'm going to be honest with you, while we're doing this weight loss, things are not always going to go exactly as we had planned. Things might be going along perfectly, and then all of a sudden somebody either bullies us or they say something mean to us. And all of a sudden we get derailed and we decide we're going to eat like crazy because we're upset. No, do not get upset. For one thing, that's what bullies love. They love to get you upset. No, from now on, we're going to wipe that slate clean, and how we're going to deal with our emotions during this particular time. When somebody does something mean to you, the next thing you need to do is you need to run out and do something nice for somebody else. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what we're going to do. So if somebody's mean to you, you go out and you help an old lady across the street. You help her take her groceries into her house, or put them into the trunk of her car, or you call and you donate your time to a charity, or you donate a blanket to a charity, or you go out and you talk to a homeless person, or you open a door for somebody at the supermarket. Do something nice for somebody else. Why? Well, because when you're doing something nice for somebody else, you don't have time to dwell on the mean thing that somebody just did you. So during this whole weight loss journey, and this is going to take a while, I will update you like once a week on YouTube, and also I do have a Facebook page, Bullseye the Clown, Bullseye the Clown on bullying on Facebook. So if you look me up on Facebook and like me on Facebook. You can see my post there as well. But I will do updates there as well. So go ahead and subscribe right down there, because chances are you're going to forget if you do it later. So do it right now. Subscribe. Click subscribe. It won't mess up the video. The reason you should subscribe, because as soon as I do a new video, you will be the first to know, and you will get to see the video before anybody else gets to see the video. And also, if you are going to take this journey with me, I would love for you to send me an email at bullseye@bullseyetheclown.com. Send me an email and say, Bullseye, I'm in. And also email me your measurements, yes, because I want to make sure that we're doing this, or at least your weight. So at least send me what your weight is so that we can update your weight, and your name, just so that I have it and I know, because I like to call people out by name and make sure that we're all on the same page together. And you can also find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all at Bullseye the Clown. Just do a search for Bullseye the Clown and you will find me. And we will do this weight loss journey together. Until we meet again the next time, be good to each other, be good to yourself, and join me on this Bullseye the Clown weight loss journey. See you the next time. Bye-bye.